To talk to. Tell us what you see in both of these plans.
Okay, what I see here is a starting point for family leave in this country. You know, the United States does not have federally mandated paid leave. You know, the rest of the world does. The OECD, the industrialized nations, on average, a year for a woman when she has a baby.
Oh my gosh.
Right, so we're talking about 6 weeks for Donald Trump here. Maternity leave only 6 weeks, he says. You would pay for it with unemployment benefits. So you wouldn't get a whole paycheck, right? You would get jobless benefits for 6 weeks. Hillary Clinton has family leave, so that would be mom or dad. Either parent. 12 weeks is what she's talking about here, and that would also be a substantial portion of your income, 2/3 of your income, but not your guaranteed 6 weeks.
When you say that you wouldn't get your whole paycheck on Trump's plan, how much would you get?
It would be whatever the unemployment, you know, so for example, when you are out of work, right, and you get unemployment benefits, you don't get exactly what your paycheck was. You get a percentage of that, so it would be in line with that. So it's partially paid leave both of these candidates are talking about. She's talking about 12 weeks. He's talking about 6 weeks here.
So maternity only, meaning no paternity leave. Dads can't take off time.
No, he does not have that in his plan. And his plan really looks like it's geared toward working women when you look at that plan. I mean, he's really geared toward working women here. We did ask, though, specifically, would same-sex couples receive benefits? And the answer looks like it is yes. If you are recognized under the IRS as a same-sex couple, then one of the partners would be able to get some leave there.
Ivanka was heavily involved in, we think, in crafting this plan for him. So who does this most benefit? Working class women, middle class women, or upper class women?
It's interesting because the criticism from some of the working parents groups who've been advocating for stuff like this for a long time is that this looks like it's geared toward middle class women. But when you look at Donald Trump, what he is saying he's going to do here for lower income women, there would be this $1,000 you could put into a fund, right? And then you get $500 match from the government to help pay for child care. The criticism there is that really, you know, paycheck to paycheck poor people don't have $1,000 to put into a fund. There's also a tax credit. So if you're not itemizing your deductions and you're a low-income earner, there's a sort of an expansion of the earned income tax credit that you could get a little bit of money back too. So the Trump campaign says that they're addressing everyone. Some of the working parents groups are saying, no, this feels like it's for working, educated, middle class, upper middle class women.
What are you analyzing here?
So this is what we're talking about, tax. The average cost of your child care would be tax deductible. So if you itemize your deductions, for example, you would take whatever the average cost is of child care in your state, you'd be able to deduct that. It's up to 4 children or an elderly parent for Donald Trump as well. So he's talking about taking care of up to 4 kids. You would be able to deduct that, or an elderly parent.
Does hers include an elderly parent?
Hers, she has, yes, she has some elderly parent stuff in there too. It is broader. He's income eligibility up to $500,000 for a married couple. She wants to look at child care expenses as a whole percentage of your income, 10% of your income. She doesn't want you to pay any more than 10% of your income on child care. She would do that through tax cuts and subsidies, and she's also endorsing universal pre-K. That's expensive. That means every 4-year-old in America goes to pre-K paid for by the government.
So there's no free lunch, as we know.
No.
How do both of them plan to pay for their plans?
So Donald Trump says his plan would cost $2.5 billion a year, and he would eliminate fraud in the unemployment benefits market. So $3.5 billion in fraud, he says.
So that's how, and do we know that? I mean, is that an accepted?
These are his numbers.
But are there $3.5 billion?
So budget wonks say wringing fraud out of these programs is expensive to do, and it's not as easy as they say. Otherwise, we would have already done it. So he says he could do it because he's a superior manager who knows how to do things, and he would do a better job than the government has. Hillary Clinton, I don't know what the cost would be of hers, and she hasn't told us exactly how much it would cost. She would have direct federal investment, so the government would bypass you and pay directly for some of your child care in some cases, and then she'd also have a mix of tax relief for low and middle income families. I can tell you, when you look at Bernie Sanders' very robust child care proposals, that's like $35 billion a year. They would pay for that partially with tax increases on the wealthy, which will be hard to push through Congress as well. So the devil is in the details. The conversation is so important. We need to figure out how to support working families better. These are 2 very different proposals.
Thank you for analyzing all of this for us. Really helpful to see them against each other.